This is the story of how Qapel received Zen transmission from Namgyal Rinpoche. Is that a decent way to describe it?
Yeah. Anyway, I was driving him in Greece. I was doing a retreat on the beach. People were in houses doing insight, basically. And as we were driving back, he did this kind of funny thing where he switched the tables where I was the teacher and he was the student. And we had a kind of chuckle about it. Ha ha ha. And he said, well, first you remove the object, meaning him.
How did he do that?
By making me the teacher. Like he was my object, right? But by flipping it, I became the subject. And
how did he flip it though?
I can't remember.
Did he call you Rinpoche or something like that?
I can't remember. I said something about the teacher or something. And he said something that made it me the teacher and him the student. Okay, so cut to like this retreat that you're talking about. So what year was that?
Oh, you mean the Silk Spring one?
No,
the individual instruction.
Yeah.
It was 70 something.
In Italy.
Yeah, it was in Italy.
Okay, so it was at least a year later, maybe 2 years later. I'm driving him up to Austria out of that retreat. And I get in the car. I'm going to bring the car back to Assisi. So I just have basically shorts, t-shirts, sandals, pair of pants, and because I'm just driving him up and back. So as soon as I get in the car to drive him, he starts going, so how's Bugs Bunkin'? Do you know this part? And he goes on all day long, like the entire day. And every 20 minutes or 15 minutes, he'd come up with another name. Zug, Zunkin, Drug, Drunken, Funk, Funkin. And him and Terry are laughing, and I think this is hilarious. Well, it was funny for about 5 minutes. And after that, it was just irritating. Anyway. So we arrive at a hotel. We arrive at some town in northern Italy, I forget the name. And he says, go find a hotel room. I'll see you in the morning. I said, well, what time? He said, just come by in the morning. So, this is kind of a side story, but it's great. So I go find a hotel and kind of in a bar somewhere in the town. And I have no idea what time I should show up, so I figure 6 o'clock in the morning. That's probably going to be late for Rinpoche. So I figured I'd be there at 4. Well, I just have sandals and shorts. I had long pants, sandals, and a light shirt. And then the night it snows.
Because you're in Austria now.
We're in northern Italy, in the Alps.
Oh, in the mountains.
Yeah. And so I'm standing outside in a snowstorm. Very beautiful, but I'm outside in a snowstorm in sandals, looking at his hotel, and the light goes on in the dining room. After about half an hour, I got snow up to my ankles. And he looks out the window and he sees me and he waves. And he goes, then he has his breakfast. So he and Terry are eating breakfast. I'm standing out in the snow.
Why didn't you go in?
Because he didn't ask me to come in. Maybe I could have gone in, but the basic rule was you left Rinpoche alone. You didn't make assumptions, and you certainly didn't get in his face. So he would have sent Terry out to get me if he wanted me to. Anyway, eventually,
different from today, isn't it?
Yeah. Eventually, we get in the car, and As soon as he gets in the car, he opens the window. Like I'm freezing, right? And he's opening the window on his side. Like I'm in the back seat. Terry's driving. He's got his window open. And I'm in like, I've just been in the snow for an hour, going through a snowstorm. Anyway, he gets right back into it. Like from the first minute. Hey, like how did Zunkin sleep? How was Crunky Crunkin? And they're laughing. We get to Austria, and it's all day long. We get to Austria by, he has a train to catch at 5 o'clock or 6. And we're sitting in the car. And he sends Terry in to check on the train. What time's the train? Platform 1, 6 o'clock. Terry comes back. We sit in the car. We're being silent. He said, Terry, go check the train again. Terry goes, okay. Goes back in. And he does this like 2 or 3 times. Platform 1, 6 o'clock. On the third time, he turns to me in the back seat and he says, so what is Doug Duncan going to do now? And I had no idea who he was talking about. And he smiled and he said, then you remove the subject. It's like 2 years,
2 years later.
2 years later. Then there's another part of the story. Again, a couple of years later. And I don't remember how he did it. But then you remove both. You remove both the subject and the object. And I don't quite remember how that happened, but it was basically in a situation where, we were sitting around with some people, and people were kind of treating him like Rinpoche. And somehow or other, he kind of pulled me into it. And he removed both him and I with these other people, which I don't think anybody else noticed. And he said, then he looked at me, he said, then you remove both. It's another 2 years later. And then he was doing a class, and I had an experience where he was Guru Rinpoche. No, he was teaching, and I kind of went in behind him, kind of psychically. I went in behind him into his body, and his body was empty. But inside his heart was a little stupa. And I went, wow, that's interesting. I went inside the heart, and inside the stupa was the Guru Rinpoche. And he was in mid conversation. He was teaching. I don't know what about it. And then he said, you remove neither.
You leave them as they are.
Sorry?
You remove neither.
Yeah. And that's how.
He said that in class.
Yeah. He just looked over at me and said, then you remove neither.
Oh, wow.
So if I quote him a lot and cite him a lot, I have good reasons for doing that.